Hello, I'm Typo T-Rex, and you're...
Nextless, who's a little bit out of frame, but we'll fix it.
Listen, this is my camera. This is not your camera. This is what people come to see. This is the moneymaker, okay?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what they really came to see is the big screen here, and today we have a Suicune V deck profile. Where do you want to start?
I'm going to start with let's start with the energies.
Okay.
Because that's easy. We'll knock that out of the way, then I can move them out of the way.
I normally save them for last, but that makes sense too.
I like to go backwards.
Yeah.
All right, so we start off right here where you have capture energy. Kind of self-explanatory on why you'd want to run it, and you want to run as many as you can. Because remember, the key with this deck is you want to get as many on your bench as possible because Blizzard Rondo is so important.
Yes.
Each one on your bench and on your enemy's bench, you are going to be doing more damage. I'm going to real quick bring a Suicune out. As you can see, it is 20 plus each one. So it's very important that you fill it up. The key thing with capture energy that's really nice, you lay it, only requires 2 energy on Suicune, and then you're able to put something else on your bench, which can also set you up. So you make sure you want to run all 4 of your capture energies. Honestly, I like to pull those out too as quickly as possible. Next right here is really important, have your water energies.
It's what, 5?
I am running 5, you're absolutely
How many
correct.
buckets are you playing? Aren't you playing 3
I think I got 3 buckets. Yeah.
So you got a little bit too many buckets for the water energy.
So the thing is, though, is I've run into it. Unfortunately, I have been prized 2 buckets before, and it really hurts.
That's fair.
It really hurts. So that's why I ended up going to the 3. You can probably get away with 2. I've just had it where I've literally had 3 games where I have prized 2 buckets.
Yeah.
And it makes it really difficult.
All you really have to resolve is 1 bucket, because once it's in the discard pile, well, I think at that point you weren't playing 4 Melanies, but we'll get to that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We did fix that. All right, so we're going to start off. We went to the energies, like to get those out of the way, just set those aside. Next, we're going to go to the Pokemon. All right, so right on top, you have the Ludicolo, and you have the whole line starting with Lotad. So, all right, let's start with this. Ludicolo's special ability allows you that when you evolve to it, the attack it adds 100 to your attack right here. So the interesting thing with this that allows you to do is with the Suicune V, with Ludicolo, will allow you to one-shot several VMAXs. I think it's all but 1.
So if everyone has a full bench,
Yep.
that puts it at 320.
Yep.
And then with Quick Shooting and Inteleon, that's 340, and that's enough to one-shot every single Pokemon.
That is true.
Yeah.
If you have the quick shooter set up,
Yeah.
absolutely. Then right here, you want to run Lombre with it, and the key thing with the Lombre is the top entry. Basically, if you draw this card that I'm going to drop, I just decided to drop it. If you draw this card on your turn, it goes directly to the bench as a stage 1.
Yeah.
So it allows you to evolve next turn basically to your Ludicolo.
With little setup, which is very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't have to require an item, and then running your Lotads here. The one thing I will say about Lotad, I actually prefer a Lotad on turn if you have to go second. Ideally, you'd first or second. I would say in this build, I like going first more than second.
Oh, definitely.
For setup.
Yeah, you got so many evolutions that going first is very important.
I completely agree. However, if you do go second, there's one thing I like using about Lotad: Call for Family. You can throw more basics out there. You throw an energy on it, and then you can get more basics on your bench to start setting it up for the Suicune.
The Rapid Strike Sobble has that as well, doesn't it?
Rapid Strike? Yep, I was going to get to that. Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have the Suicune. So the real thing about Suicune here is I'm running 4 copies of Suicune. We talked about Blizzard Rondo. You do 20 damage for every each bench Pokemon, 20 plus. Fleet Foot is really important. So every turn you're able to draw a card on your turn if it's in the active slot.
Now, that's once per Suicune too. So if you have 2 Suicunes, one inactive and one on your bench, you can actually get both effects in the same turn. Yep. So he's your main attacker and he's also your main consistency tool. So the deck is super consistent because, you're going to get the Suicunes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So like on this one, I like to throw, if I have a Cape of Toughness, depending on what I'm going against, I'll throw it out to give more hit points because you're only running 210. That puts you at 260. Another thing, if you know that you may or may not get one shot throwing Air Balloon on here for a switch or to retreat it, or laying a switch to get another Suicune out. That is also why you have 4 of them. I would also always recommend you have 1 in the active slot and 1 on your bench ready to go. Especially with 2 energy, you can set it up in a single turn using the Melanie combo. Next, we have the Inteleons. As we all know, Shady Dealings is like one of those consistent ways to win the game because you are able to pull 2 trainers out. It says trainers. You can get a supporter. You can get your items. And with the Inteleon, you run I run 1 version of Shady Dealings. Allows me to get 2 trainer cards. And then I run 2 versions of the Quick Shooters. Yep. Each turn, if you get these set up, you can do 40 damage on a single or spread it out depending on how you want to do it.
Yeah. I think that's what most people are running nowadays is 2-1.
That's generally what I see. I've seen it kind of mix up where it's half and half, and they actually run 4 Inteleons, but to me that takes up too much of your bench. I think when you go that much. Next, Drizzle, Shady Dealings all the way. I mean, the key thing with here is that you get your Shady Dealings, you can pull your trainer card. Now, a really cool thing to do with the Drizzles too is If you have Scoop Up Net, you can use Scoop Up Net. If you've got a Sobble, Drizzle, and a Sobble there, you don't have an evolution, scoop them up, and you can evolve that Drizzle
Yeah.
right there, and you can get 2 in one turn. So obviously you want to run 4 of those. Now with the Sobbles, you first have the Rapid Strike one, which is the Keep Calling, which is also really good to have in the spot because you can pull 3 basic Rapid Strike Pokemon.
Okay,
so you can,
it can only
stack
search
your
for
deck.
itself. Okay.
Yep, it can, but it's really nice because you can start getting set up. Now what I do too is because of Dragapult, I run at least 1 Sobble at 70 hit points. You don't think like 10 hit points would really make a big difference. It really can make the difference with the Sobble getting one shot. So this is the Sword and Shield base Sobble. I've seen some variations where they're not run at all because it's not Rapid Strike, and I've seen some where they're running 2 and 2. Honestly, I think 1 is sufficient. You just really have to know when to put it down.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get annihilated on the bench. As we know, those are always fun.
Yeah. I don't believe this is the first deck profile where we've had the Sobble, Drizzle, and Teleon in there, but that Drizzle is just phenomenal because, one, it lets you thin out your deck so you can get to the stuff more consistently, and then again, that rapid shooting in Teleon is just, it wins games by itself. Like, I've seen a few decks in the Sunday Open like a few weeks ago when I was playing a little bit more consistently, but it was just Moltres V and Inteleon, and I was like, what? How are you winning? How is this doing good? But that just, the quick shooting Inteleon just picks stuff off so fast.
And it's consistent because every turn you have both out, you're doing 40 damage. I mean, if you think about almost everybody's running an evolution in some way, shape, and form. You could literally eliminate a lot of stage 1s out because you're running 80 damage every turn. All right, next you have Quick Ball, self-explanatory. Discard a card. You could pull your basics out. Biggest thing I use this for is probably to pull the Suicunes out. That's probably the number one thing I'll use this. Level Ball. I will tell you, Level Ball is probably one of my favorite cards in here, and it's one of the cards I will almost always go after because you can pull your Lotads, you can pull your Sobbles, and my favorite thing, you can pull your Drizzles with this.
Yeah,
you're like, I need a couple Drizzles. Bam! And then you got to have the golden Level Ball right there.
Yeah, the pretty one.
Yeah, but I will tell you, I don't know how many times Level Ball has saved me because it's like, oh, I need some Drizzles. I got Sobbles, and you can pull those Drizzles directly out.
Yeah.
Evolution Incense, self-explanatory there as well. Make sure you get your evolutions. I mean, this one I'll generally pull any of them that I need. You mean Ludicolo. If you need the Lombre, you can pull Drizzle itself. Or heck, I've used these to pull the Inteleons out as quickly as possible.
For the Shady Dealings in Teleon, the Evolution Incense is pretty important because it lets you set up everything you need for your Lotad jump into Ludicolo because you haven't shown it yet, but you can grab a rare candy and the Evolution Incense and guarantee that you have all the pieces you need to in order to one-shot something and steal that game.
Also, you could accelerate, too, by doing a combo of pulling a Drizzle, get a Trainer, then from right there, if you have like a Sobble, you can rare candy it right into the Shady Dealings, get 2 more Trainers, so you can really combo your decks out. Then if you have Scoop Up Net, you scoop up the other one. I've literally, I think the most I've done is 5 Trainer cards in one turn.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts. Conspicuous Bucket, pull those water energies out for when you need them. Really important card. Like I said, a lot of people run 2. The only thing is I've had my deck brick where I couldn't get these cards, and they're extremely important because you need some of those water energies. Scoop Up Nets here, you don't have very many. You only have 2. But I'll tell you right now, they've come in handy for 2 reasons.
It puts in so much work.
Yep, it does, especially when you can do a double Drizzle in a turn. Or, I mean, I've done it where I've reset up a Ludicolo setup where I needed another one.
Yeah.
Also, I did not mention it. We're going to backtrack real quick before I get into the rare candy. One thing I have not seen done, but I've talked about doing it. Ludicolo does not say you cannot stack this twice in one turn.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have enough on the bench and you need some extra damage and you somehow have the magic cards instead of 2 Ludicolos, I mean, hell, you'd be swinging for 2 extra damage minimum. So I haven't seen it done, but not
again,
you can't do it.
I don't think it's ever really worth it, but it's an interesting concept.
You never know. If they're trying to set something up and you're a little bit behind, I mean, getting that 1 kill, especially in the beginning against a V or a VMAX.
Again, I feel like if you have the resources to do that, you should already have the resources to one-shot something with just a Suicune and a quick shooting Inteleon.
I agree, but sometimes if they know they're running Suicune, they won't fill their bench up, which really hurts. Yeah, it really hurts you. Rare Candy, self-explanatory to accelerate to that Stage 2 evolutions. This is probably one of my favorite cards in this deck with the Suicune is the Cape of Toughness because Suicune as a V actually has lower health than some other ones I've seen. So adding the extra 50 hit points puts it at 260, and it kind of puts you outside of the range of being as much one-shotted as you would be with the 210. Yeah. I can think of a few builds. Escape Rope, this is one of those unique cards I've thought about if I'm going to keep or not, but I will say, though, with the Escape Rope in, it kind of forces your opponent to make a move before you can. If you've got a secondary Suicune set up and yours already has damage, so you can really set yourself up to be able to start rotating.
It's kind of like a quasi-boss.
Yeah, it is. The other thing too is also forces. Let's say next turn they want to hit that Suicune that has damage. You're forcing their boss out, and it may
Yeah.
be earlier than they wanted to.
Yeah.
Tool Scraper is just I say at least one in almost
Yeah.
every deck, just because like items.
Everything is plain Cape of Toughness and air balloons now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Tool Jammer I've been seeing too.
I don't remember seeing air balloon in here at all.
Did
Actually,
I not
now
have the
that-
air balloons in this one?
Yeah.
I may have the air balloons in the other one. Did I take the air balloons out? I did take the air balloons out. Okay, that may be something I could look at switching
Yeah.
with the Conspicuous Bucket because I am running 3 again. No, air balloons are not in this one.
Yep.
I have them. I think I play tested it a little bit with it and decided to remove it.
Well, you were also play tested against my Paw Patrol, and
Yeah.
that's not necessarily representative of the rest of the meta.
No.
Yeah.
Right here, boss's orders. Everyone's running these. Running 2 to 4, depending on what you're doing. Unless you're running Umbreon VMAX, then you're just running, well, maybe 1 at most, depending on what you're doing. Then you've got your Melanies here. Melanies here is like a staple. And what I mean by a staple, I mean you really want to draw your Melanies as quickly as possible because Melanie allows you to do 2 things. 1, it's draw consistency because you're getting 3 cards. 2, it allows you to set up your Suicune in 1 turn because you can lay 1 card as your energy, and then Melanie allows you to attach another energy if it's in your discard pile. So one of my favorite setups in the beginning is to take a quick ball, discard one of my energies right away, get it in there, and then next turn, or even that same turn, I'll Melanie bring it back, and I'm accelerated where
Yeah.
now I can be hitting with Blizzard Rondo.
And the best part again is it's from the discard, so you only ever need 1 there to be live.
Yep.
Unlike Welder, where you needed 2 in your hand to get maximum effectiveness.
Absolutely. And now you have Marnie's, self-explanatory here. You're just making your self-shuffle and your, how should I say, co-conspirator and funness when it comes to the Pokemon game. And then Professor's Research, discarding your hand. I don't run as many because with the draw power that you have in here,
Yeah.
there's really no need to really run more than 4 of these cards in itself. Where in a normal deck, you may be running 4 Researches and 3 Marnies or some combination of the both.
But between the fleet-footed and the Melanies, again, I've seen you with hands that are like 12 cards big, and I was like, dude, if you don't have everything you need right now, what are you doing? All right. So what are your strong matchups for this deck? You would say?
Ooh, with what's out there right now, let's see here. Probably one of them is the Sylveon because a lot of them try to rely on the Blaziken, and you can literally just annihilate the Blaziken.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
In there. And they kind of it's really one of those heavy hitters. So like if they realize like you're running Suicune or with that, you can just boss's order that Blaziken and knock it out for 3 prize cards.
And the Sylveon decks rely on filling up their bench so they can get maximum damage too. So yeah, I could see that being a really bad matchup. I think regular Rapid Strike, like your Shifu and Teleon line, I think that should be a pretty good matchup for this because they end up with a full bench a lot of the times too.
I would say anybody that is primarily playing any type of support function, like you need your bench. Dragapult's a hard matchup in more ways than one, and primarily the reason is Dragapult can just snipe your stuff off the bench.
So that's getting into to the bad matchups part is, again, your bench is very important. So Dragapult can do pretty good. I said Rapid Strike would be like a decent matchup for you because they have to fill up their bench too, but they do have the power to snipe stuff off the bench. So outside of like your Lotads, like that's my number 1 target when I play against this deck is like, no, I'm gonna try and kill those Lotads as fast as possible, because that Ludicolo is ridiculous. Have you been paying attention to the new set at all? Is there anything coming up that you think is really gonna like boost this deck to the next level?
I'm thinking about what's coming in Fusion Strike, and as of right now, I haven't seen anything that's really stood out to me, even from a trainer perspective. Now, I could see if you want to do some unique items with, I think it's the item cards with like the energy. You know what I'm talking about, the energy switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see some unique setups with that, but honestly, with Fusion Strike with Suicune, I think we pretty much have what we need to be consistent.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place. I I did this with Jordan yesterday, and I ended like 15 videos like that, and I was like, this is a good place to end the video, but I hate myself because I said it at the end of every video. And I was like, just end the video. Just cut people off. You don't have to keep repeating yourself. Anyway, I've been Typo T-Rex. You've been
Nexus.
And you've been watching us here on YouTube/Typos Games. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more deck profiles. Bye, everyone.